A. Segregation of African and Americans, B. Discrimination inflicted by Americans, C. Deprivation of Question 2, the theme of the second paragraph is about. Options: A. Character, justice, and hope, B. Freedom, equality, and peace, C. Vision, judgment, and slavery. Question 3, had there been a violence call by Martin, then there would have been. Options: A. Chaos and less support from people, B. Rise in credibility, C. Dominancy. Question 4, the last sentence is about. Options: A. Human rights globally, B. Human rights in the U.S., C. Human rights of black citizens, D. Human rights locally. Question 5, the girl who used to be very vociferous does not talk much anymore. Vociferous means. Options: A. Vehement, B. Deep, C. Silent. Question 6, identify the adjective from the sentence, what book are you reading in the library? Options: A. What, B. Book, C. Reading, D. Library. Question 7, identify the sentence with correct punctuation. Options: A. He said to me he listens music every night, B. He said to me, he listens music every. Question 8, you have been working with him since noon. Change into future perfect continuous tense. Options: A. You will be working with him since noon, B. You have been working. Question 9, he was driving a car with his family from the village to the city during the rain. Change the voice. Options: A. A car was being driven by him with his family from the village to the. Question 10, which of the following is a synonym for quick? Options: A. Slow, B. Fast, C. Lazy, D. Dull. Time's up. Correct. Question 11, the percentage of the Earth's surface covered with water is. Options: A. 29%, B. 50%, C. 71%, D. 8. Question 12, the following is a major kharif crop in Pakistan, sown at the beginning of the monsoon season. Options: A. Wheat, B. Gram, C. Mustard, D. Question 13, the Indus Waters Treaty was signed in the year. Options: A. 1958, B. 1960, C. 1962, D. 1965. Question 14, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto introduced the policy of nationalization in. Options: A. 1975, B. 1974, C. Question 15, a country produces a large surplus of cotton cloth and sells it to other nations. This activity is an example of. Options: A. Import, B. Domestic. Question 16, determine which climatic region a hot, dry area with less than 250 millimeters of annual rainfall on the western side of a continent is most likely to be. Question 17, name the institution in Pakistan responsible for formulating the country's 5-year plans for economic development. Options: A. State Bank of Pakistan. Question 18, the primary consequence of the Liaquat-Nehru Pact, 1950, was that it. Options: A. Resolved the Kashmir dispute permanently, B. Forced India. Question 19, compare the voyages of Columbus and Vasco da Gama, common underlying economic motive. Options: A. To spread Christianity, B. To discover new lands for. Question 20, comparing Ayub Khan era and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto era reveals shift from. Options: A. Heavy industry to cottage, B. Nationalization to privatization. Question 21, a learner who prefers hands-on lab work and field trips would be classified as. Options: A. Visual, B. Kinesthetic, C. Oral, D. Read/write. Question 22, the teaching method allows free ideas, no criticism. Options: A. Case study, B. Brainstorming, C. Storytelling, D. Team. Question 23, the teacher delivers his lecture and tells a tale in history class refers to. Options: A. Brainstorming, B. Storytelling, C. Case study, D. Question 24, a student remembers diagrams well but forgets spoken instruction. Best adaptation. Options: A. Provide more text-based notes, B. Question 25, Vygotsky's concept of the zone of proximal development refers to. Options: A. Skills children can perform independently, B. Skills children can perform. Question 26. A child is shorter than peers but shows normal growth pattern. This is most likely. Options: A. Experiencing normal growth variation, B. Question 27. In lesson planning, Bloom's taxonomy is primarily used to. Options: A. Arrange seating groups, B. Define learning objectives, C. Prepare. Question 28. The correct sequence for lesson planning is. Options: A. Activities rightward arrow slows rightward arrow assessment, B. Slows rightward arrow activities rightward arrow. Question 29. The use of praise, nods, and encouraging words by a teacher refers to. Options: A. Communication skill, B. Probing skill, C. Assessment. Question 30. A teacher asks follow-up questions to deepen a student's response, which refers to. Options: A. Stimulus variation, B. Probing skill, C. Question 31. A quick quiz given at the end of a lesson to check for student understanding is best described as. Options: A. Summative assessment, B. Diagnostic assessment. Question 32. The following are all good sources of feedback except. Options: A. Teacher, parent, B. Peer, textbook, C. Self-experience. Question 33. Why was reading added to the traditional stream model? Options: A. To make acronym longer, B. To emphasize reading and writing, C. To reduce focus on English. Question 34. In a STEAM project, learners use programming to design circuit diagrams. Disciplines mixed. Options: A. Arts plus technology. Question 35. Flipped learning is A. Options: A. Theory of behavior, B. Method of instruction, C. Pedagogical approach that inverts conventional classroom learning. Question 36. Blended learning is. Options: A. Combines online learning with traditional classroom, B. Digital approach, C. Traditional classroom-based learning. Question 37. The following are suggestions to make feedback more effective except. Options: A. Make students understand good performance, B. Encourage students about learning. Question 38. Which teaching method promotes active student participation? Options: A. Lecture only, B. Drill, C. Project-based learning, D. Dictation. Question 39. Formative assessment is typically. Options: A. High stakes, B. End of term, C. Ongoing and low stakes, D. Standardized. Question 40. Scaffolding in education refers to. Options: A. Punishment, B. Temporary support, C. Fixed curriculum, D. Final exam. Question 41. If the checkpoints regulating cell division are altered, the person is most likely get. Options: A. Hypertension, B. Cancer, C. Diabetes. Question 42. Saprophytes are classified as. Options: A. Parasite, B. Saprophyte, C. Symbiont, D. Autotroph. Time's up. Question 43. Ahmed had sore throat and observed fungus on fruit. Infection described as. Options: A. Fungi, B. Virus, C. Bacteria. Question 44. The non-protein part of a conjugate enzyme loosely attached is called. Options: A. Cofactor, B. Active site, C. Prosthetic group, D. Inhibitor. Question 45. A cell with proper ATP but unassembled proteins. Dysfunctional organelle. Options: A. Mitochondria, B. Golgi apparatus. Question 46. The process that takes place on the inner membrane of mitochondria is. Options: A. Glycolysis, B. Electron transport chain, C. Production of. Question 47. In a forest, one species of bird diverges into different species adapted to different food sources. Evolution. Options: A. Gradual divergence. Question 48. If an insecticide is sprayed in a grassland ecosystem, the trophic level directly affected is. Options: A. Producers, B. Primary consumers, Question 49, algae are placed in a group of plant-like protists because. Options: A. They move with flagella, B. They perform photosynthesis, C. Intensive exercise. Question 50, intensive exercise increases breathing rate to supply more oxygen. Coordination between. Options: A. Digestive and excretory, B. Skeletal. Question 51, which vitamin is synthesized by human skin in sunlight? Options: A. Vitamin A, B. Vitamin C, C. Vitamin D, D. Vitamin K. Question 52, the basic unit of classification is. Options: A. Genus, B. Species, C. Family, D. Order. Time's up. Question 53, X-rays are produced when cathode rays strike on. Options: A. Nonmetal, B. Metal, C. Material, D. Gas. Time's up. Question 54, the diagram shows arrangement of particles change, solid rightward arrow gas directly. Which change of state? Options: A. Boiling. Question 55, MgCO3 rightward arrow MgO plus CO2. Mass of MgO formed when 21.0 g MgCO3 decomposed. MRE. Question 56, soap making process in industries is known as. Options: A. Plantation, B. Saponification, C. Deposition, D. Distillation. Question 57, in a redox reaction, electrons are transferred from. Options: A. Oxidizing agent, B. Reducing agent, C. Catalyst, D. Inert. Question 58, a mixture produces gas both with acid and alkali. Which ions are present? Options: A. Ammonium ions, B. Carbonate ions, C. High. Question 59, which of the following changes is endothermic? Options: A. H2 plus Cl2 rightward arrow HCl, B. H2O, G. rightward arrow. Question 60, which does not affect the rate by affecting collisions? Options: A. Catalyst, B. Increasing pressure, C. Increasing surface area, D. Increasing temperature. Question 61, for which combination is titration method suitable? Options: A. Insoluble acid plus insoluble base, B. Insoluble acid plus soluble base. Question 62, which does not describe a property of a weak acid in solution? Options: A. Form salt with NaOH, B. pH between 8 and 9, C. Question 63, which row describes bonding type? Substance 1/substance 2. Options: A. Methane ionic/graphite covalent, B. Graphite ionic. Question 64, pH of pure water at 25 degrees Celsius is. Options: A. 0, B. 7, C. 14, D. 1. Question 65, which is the rate of change of velocity? Options: A. Distance, B. Speed, C. Acceleration, D. Momentum. Time's up. Question 66, Boyle's law states at constant temperature. Options: A. P proportionality V, B. PV equals constant, C. P proportionality T. Question 67, the velocity of sound is maximum in. Options: A. Air, B. Water, C. Steel, D. Vacuum. Time's up. Question 68, body mass 0.5 kilograms moving with 4m/s has momentum equal to. Options: A. 1.0 ns, B. 1.5 ns. Question 69, speed of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius is approximately. Options: A. 200 m/s, B. 300 m/s. Question 70, two similar capacitors of 4 μF each in series, equivalent capacitance. Options: A. 2 μF, B. 10 μF, C. 24 μF. Question 71, binary addition of 2 bits, 1 plus 1, results. Options: A. 11, B. 01, C. 00, D. 10. Question 72, according to Rutherford's model, most of the mass of an atom is concentrated in. Options: A. Electrons, B. Proton cloud, C. Nucleus. Question 73, energy possessed by a body due to its motion. Options: A. Potential energy, B. Kinetic energy, C. Thermal energy, D. Work done. Question 74, at what temperature do Fahrenheit and Celsius scales coincide? Options: A. 0 degrees, B. 100 degrees, C. 40 degrees. Question 75, according to Bohr's model, electrons revolve in. Options: A. Elliptical orbits, B. Stationary circular orbits, C. Random motion. Question 76, a telescope uses. Options: A. 2 convex lenses, B. 2 concave lenses, C. 1 convex and 1 concave, D. Prism and lens. Question 77, smallest number divisible by all given numbers is called. Options: A. Factor, B. Multiple, C. HCF, D. LCM. Question 78, pizza 10 slices, eat 4 slices, percentage not eaten. Options: A. 20%, B. 30%, C. 40%. Question 79, 20% of price of book is 120. Total price is. Options: A. 600, B. 720. Question 80, ratio red blue equals 3:2, red equals 21, blue marbles. Options: A. 7, B. 14, C. 21. Question 81, price of sugar 100% more than wheat. Ratio of prices. Options: A. 1:2, B. 2:1, C. 1:3. Question 82, Saeed plus son equals 60, Saeed double son's age, Saeed age. Options: A. 30, B. 40, C. 45. Question 83, endpoints of diameter A, -5,6, B, 3-4. Center. Options: A. 1-1, B. Question 84, distance around a 2D closed shape is called. Options: A. Diameter, B. Perimeter, C. Area, D. Surface area. Time. Question 85, interest equals principal times rate times time is called. Options: A. Simple, B. Compound, C. Continuous, D. Discrete. Question 86, a sentence having one or more unknowns is called. Options: A. True sentence, B. False sentence, C. Open sentence, D. Closed sentence. Question 87, two events with equal chances of happening are called. Options: A. Simple events, B. Disjoint events, C. Equally likely events, D. Equal. Question 88, average income group 1, 6, equals 50K, group 2, 4, equals 75K. Total income. Options. Question 89, which is not a web design tool. Options: A. WordPress, B. Figma, C. Wix, D. Oracle. Time's up. Question 90, OSI model has _______ layers. Options: A5, B7, C4, D6. Question 91, field to store address, which data type? Options: A. Integer, B. String, C. Character, D. Floating point. Time's up. Question 92, branch of artificial intelligence. Options: A. Programming, B. Machine learning, C. Deep thinking, D. Microprocessors. Question 93, which is not a function of an operating system? Options: A. Booting, B. Memory management, C. I/O management, D. Text editing. Question 94, to use a spreadsheet, we use. Options: A. MS PowerPoint, B. MS Word, C. MS Access, D. MS Excel. Question 95, line of code from machine language programming. Options: A. Print, hello, B. Code hello, C. Move 1, A, D. 1010. Question 96, most user-friendly interface. Options: A. MS-DOS, B. Apple DOS, C. GUI, D. Linux Terminal. Time's up. Question 97. To uniquely identify a record we need a _______________ key. Options: A. Foreign key. B. Question 98. First generation computer. Options: A. IBM 7094, B. ENIAC, C. IBM 1401, D. Question 99. Classification based on size. Options: A. Analog, digital, B. General, special, C. Mainframe, mini, super. Question 100. 5 main components of a communication system. Options: A. Message,